Hello and how do you do? It's David Nabarro speaking. And I'd just like to say how pleased I am to be sending this message at the beginning of the first national dialogue for sustainable food systems in the Republic of Korea. I'd like to recognize at the outset the national convener for Food Systems Summit Dialogues in the Republic of Korea, Dr. Hong Sang-kim, President of the Korea Rural Economic Institute, KREI. I'd also like to acknowledge the vital role being played by the Ministry of Food, Agriculture and Rural Affairs, as well as the Korea Rural Economic Institute, who are working together to ensure that successful national dialogues take place in your country. I'm involved in the Food Systems Summit that's taking place in September this year because I have been taken on as an advisor to Dr. Agnes Kalibata, the special envoy for this summit appointed by the United Nations Secretary General during 2020. The Secretary General has convened a Food Systems Summit because he is convinced that although food systems in our world today are delivering much more food than ever before to the world population, there are still major problems that have to be resolved. There are a lot of people undernourished. There are many people who suffer as a result of diet-related disease. There are challenges in rural areas where smallholders in particular who produce food are not getting an adequate income. There are also anxieties about the impact of food systems on the environment and climate, and questions are asked about the position of women and the place for young people in today's food systems. All this suggests to the United Nations Secretary General that food systems do need to change if we're going to achieve the sustainable development goals that have been agreed by world leaders for the world to achieve by 2030. And that's why we're having a Food Systems Summit in September this year. The summit starts from the Sustainable Development Goals, and it very definitely focuses on the way in which an adaptation of food systems will yield Sustainable Development Goals. And to this end, countries are using food systems dialogues to shape pathways to sustainable and equitable food systems by 2030. They're building on 5 action tracks that have been set up for the summit. 1, focusing on access to nutritious food. 2, explores the ways in which diets can shift so they're more sustainable and nutritious. Action track 3 looks at ways of making food production more nature positive, while action track 4 examines how to get remuneration of smallholder farmers and fishers up to a level which is compatible with them enjoying a good and prosperous lives. Action track 5 looks at the resilience of food systems in the face of stress, including climate and health stress, and particularly the stress caused by diseases like COVID-19. These action tracks will contribute to the identification of the most important game-changing decisions that have to be made to achieve sustainable and equitable food systems. We expect national dialogues to be moving forward in ways that bring together all stakeholders with the greatest possible diversity. We expect them to have discussion groups that focus on how to get food systems to where they need to be to in 10 years' time. What actions need to be taken now to change the game and help to get the changes that are necessary, and how to get the different stakeholder groups that participate in the dialogues to come forward with commitments that align with the pathways that are being worked on. There are facilitated small group discussions and an overarching process that's curated to achieve outcomes that can then be put into feedback forms and synthesized in material for the Summit Secretariat. The Republic of Korea joins 68 other countries that have appointed national conveners and are moving ahead with food systems dialogues, including the United States of America that have already had their first dialogue, including Russia, including Brazil, including several European countries, as well as countries in the Middle East, Africa, Latin America, South Asia, and East Asia. And the Republic of Korea, by coming forward early in this process, will inspire other countries. So as well as embarking on a process that is transformative for Korea and Koreans, you'll also be helping other countries as well. So we will look forward very much to hearing about progress with your dialogues and to staying connected with you throughout the process up until the pre-summit, which takes place in Rome in July this year, and then the summit itself in September, and of course on after the summit as you're moving forward towards 2030. Thank you for the chance to be with you today.